The older you get, the faster time seems to go by. Once you get on the other side of 50, a week seems just like one really long day. You get off work Friday evening, and next thing you know, you're dragging yourself out of bed Monday morning. Life isn't fun anymore. There's no excitement. There's no purpose. And where there's no purpose, there's no life. And where there's no life, well, you know what that means. You're dead inside. But it doesn't have to be that way. In today's video, I'm going to share with you why you don't know your purpose and how you can find your purpose. Imagine this. You wake up one day going to work. You go by the coffee shop, people wave at you. You get to the office, people wave at you and say hi. You go into your first meeting, people once again, they wave at you, they speak to you, but nobody calls you by your name. Nobody acknowledges you. It's as though you're present, but nobody knows you. That's what it's like when you're living without a purpose or when you don't know your purpose. You're just there. You're just present. You don't have a meaning. You can't help anyone and no one can help you because nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody knows what you're here to do. You don't even know what you're here to do. You're not doing anything other than existing. And no one can help somebody who's just existing. You can't continue to go through life with your talent, with your gift, wasting away inside of you. Time isn't on your side anymore. What would you tell your son? What would you tell your daughter? Aren't you always the one who's encouraging them to live their life? So when are you going to start living your life? For 24 years, I was in what I call my wilderness. For 24 years, I was focused on paying bills, working a job, changing jobs, working on a career, raising my kids. That was my life. And it wasn't until I was about to go through my second divorce that I realized how unhappy I was, how unexciting and boring my life was, how I felt so empty inside. And I remember having to just keep saying to myself, Eric, life has to be more than just paying bills and raising your kids. It has to be more than that. I can't be on this planet for, 50, 60, 70, 80 years and look back at my life and only thing I can think about is raising my kids and paying bills and getting them through school and taking a couple of vacations every year. It had to be more than that. So I began a journey to find my purpose. I read books, I took courses, I watched YouTube videos, anything that I felt was credible, any leader in the field of purpose that I felt credible, I took their suggestions and their ideas and I incorporated those into my life. And I reflected back on it and I realized that after several years, I was still frustrated. I was still confused. I was still lost. I still hadn't found a purpose. And the reason why that was the case was because everybody who I was listening to, they were saying the exact same thing. It wasn't just not working for me. It wasn't working for anybody that I knew. So I decided to write my own book about purpose. And for about a year and a half, I held workshops, I sat on panels, I gave speeches, I went to events, and I talked specifically about how you can find your purpose. If you're struggling to find your purpose, if you don't know what you want to do next in your life, if you're feeling lost, if you're confused, if life is frustrating you because you feel empty inside, click on the link in the description below and set up a one-on-one call with me. And we'll go through and ask the questions that don't treat the symptoms of having a life without purpose, but get down to the actual root cause of why you can't find your purpose and what you can do next in your life to bring about a change and bring about the life that you actually desire and want to live. As much as I hated feeling lost and empty inside, that had become my norm. I had been living that way for more than 20 years, but I became blessed with awareness. I became aware that living like that was not normal. It was actually abnormal, and there was something that needed to be done, and I needed to figure out what needed to be done. I thought I would find my purpose if I got another job or I got another career or if I volunteered somewhere or if I meditated or I began to journal or I met new friends or I volunteered somewhere. I tried everything that I thought that would work, and based on suggestions and ideas that other people had given me, and nothing worked. And nothing's going to work for you. I'm sure you tried either some of those things or all of those things, or maybe you even tried some things that I hadn't mentioned. And you're at this point, you're really frustrated and you're feeling a sense maybe of desperation because nothing's working for you and nothing has worked. And the reason why it hasn't worked and the reason why it's not going to work is because the map that you were given to find your purpose, the instructions, the directions, and those directions, those instructions are gonna put you in your own wilderness, and it's going to keep you there for years, maybe even for the rest of your life. When you think about purpose, there are two ideas that are common or mainstream in society today. And the first one is, if you follow, let me see, it's your passion will lead you to your purpose. That's the first one. Your passion will lead you to your purpose. I'm pretty sure you've heard that one before. But the second one is the one that, in my opinion, is the most harmful and it's the most dangerous, and it's the one that keeps you lost. It keeps you empty. It keeps you in this vicious, endless circle of despair and frustration and confusion. And that's the term itself. Find your purpose. And that's the one I want to focus on today. Think about the term find your purpose. The word find implies that you're looking for something. And if you think about in your life, anything that you're looking for, you have an idea of what you're looking for. You lost your keys, you're looking for your keys. If you lost your phone, you put your phone down or misplaced your phone, you're looking for your phone. So in life, whatever you've lost or misplaced, you know at least what you're looking for. So if someone says go find your phone, you know you're looking for your phone. In this case of find your purpose, what are you looking for? You don't know your purpose. You can never know your purpose. You will never know your purpose. So what are you actually looking for? It's like telling a kid to go out into the outdoors and find a plant. There are trees, there's grasses, there are roses, there are lilies, there are weeds, there are all kind of plants. What is the child actually looking for? So if you don't know what you're looking for, when you come across something, how do you know that's meant for you? How do you know that is your purpose? How do you know it's not your purpose? How could you know? Because you don't know what you're looking for. So the word find is the part that's crippling you. It's the piece that you need to stop or eliminate from the rest of the term, your purpose. We don't need to find your purpose. I don't need to find my purpose. We need to get rid of the word find when we're talking about purpose. Purpose is something that you're not going to find. It's not like it's under a rock and you turn over the rock and, oh, wait, there's my purpose. That's not how this works. The shift is you need to create your purpose, not find. Find is more of a reactive. Find is hope. Find is praying. Find is hoping that something will take place in your life. That's more of a sitting back waiting. You don't want to be waiting in your life anymore. If you're like me, you're not too old, but time is something that you don't have a lot of. So you don't want to be sitting to wait on anything. You want to create your purpose. You want to create your purpose based on the things that are in your mind, the things that you imagine, the things that you desire to do, the things that you want, the things that you want to be, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to have. In your mind, you create those things through your imagination, and you go about taking action on those things, and doing that gives you a purpose. Instead of waiting for a purpose, you create a purpose. So here's what I want you to do. We're talking about creating your purpose, not finding, but creating your purpose. And the way, or a way to create your purpose, is to look out into the world and see something that really frustrates you, something that really almost even in some cases makes you angry, where when you hear about it, when you see it, when somebody talks about it, you get a physical feeling behind it. It gets you to the point where you physically have a reaction to what it is that person said or what you're seeing. That's what you want. That's a path to creating your purpose. So I want you to sit down, pull out a pen and paper, something to write with. Taking it digitally or putting it on your phone or something, that's a way. But I always like writing. Writing down ideas makes them more real to me. That's just my opinion. So sit down with a pen and paper and begin to write out something that you really angers you, something that really frustrates you, a problem in the world that you see or hear that you really don't like. That's the first step. The second step is that once you have one, two, or three of those things, the problem itself might be too big for you individually to solve. So you could break off a piece of that problem. So you might not be able to solve the whole problem by yourself, but you can take one little piece of that problem and you can solve it. So it might be something that might be a problem in your state, or a problem in the world, or a problem in your country. But it's something you can do in your neighborhood. It's something that you can fix in your community. It's something you might be able to fix in your household. It might be something that you can solve in your circle of friends or at your job. But it's something that you can take upon yourself and break off the big piece, and you could break it down into a smaller piece, something that you can do. I don't need to tell you what your life is like right now, how unhappy you may be, or how frustrated you may be, how confused you may be, how lost you may be, or you may even be miserable. I don't know. I can relate to what you're feeling because I've been there, and I was there for many, many, many years. So I understand what you're going through, and you have to ask yourself, how long do you want to stay in this? How long do you want to stay in this suffering? Because ultimately you can change it. Think about it. Whatever's happening in your life, you drove yourself to this point. You can drive yourself out of this. You got yourself here, you can get yourself out. And again, it's a time thing with us. If you're watching this video, at this point, you're probably over 50, may even be in your 60s. Time is something you don't have. You don't have 25, 30 years to spend trying to figure things out. You have to act, and you have the capacity, and you have the capability to act. You even have the wisdom and the knowledge and the experience to do it. That's what's so wonderful about this time in your life. You have everything. You have the resources, you have the time, you have the wisdom, you have the experience. It's just a matter of you acting on it. So take the time to do what your heart, your soul tells you, has been begging you to do. Change your life. Change your life. If you don't take anything else away from this video, one thing, actually three things. The first one is you have to change your mindset from find your purpose to create your purpose. That's the first thing. That's the major shift. We're not finding anything. We're creating now. We're going to be proactive. We're going to take charge of our life. And to actually make that happen, 2 steps. 1, determine a problem that just irritates you to no end. The second piece of that is, of that big problem, break it down into a smaller piece that you yourself can solve by yourself or with a small team of people, and take action on it immediately. So if you find yourself struggling to find your purpose, if you feel lost, if you feel empty, click on the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.